Thank you for joining us on KBC Channel 1, the channel that gives you the most comprehensive news coverage in Kenya and East Africa. My name is Kasavuli. It is the Legends Edition.
And of course, on the sports segment, it will be Topi Liambila taking you through the paces and beyond.
Well, and of course, our sign language interpreter is Lucy Mwaura. So please don't go away. Here are the highlights for the news tonight. Justin Muturi's new home. Democratic Party presidential flag bearer signs pact with Kenya Kwanza Alliance.
We are calling the Council of Governors to stand together with the unions to demand for the increase of funds to the counties.
We got a raw deal. Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union decry low budgetary allocation. And my gender paradox. Our reporter Sheila Kayaro Yogo tells us the story of Apostle Darlan Rukih. Thank you for joining us on KBC Channel 1. This is the Legends Edition. My name is Kasavuli. And now over to our main news items. National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi has accused the state of attempting to coerce the country into forging a particular political direction. Muturi, whose Democratic Party signed a coalition pact with the Kenya Kwanza Alliance on Saturday, alleges that there is an elaborate scheme to use the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to curtail free speech. Gishuki Washira with details of Justin Muturi's latest political exploits.
National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi, who is also the Democratic Party leader, is the newest member of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Muturi signed a coalition agreement with William Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula on Saturday. A defiant Muturi accused the government of attempting to interfere with the free will.
Nobody should deceive themselves that by whatever machinations, whatever designs, they are going to coerce and intimidate Kenyans from the path of self-actualization, which I dare say will be realized on the 9th of August.
As we converge here this morning, we are persuaded that we are on the right side of history. And this election is going to be determined by the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya have resisted blackmail. The people of Kenya have stood against threats.
Muturi's arrival in William Ruto's camp appears to be the culmination of a series of political calculations and negotiations. The deputy president has been on a mission to consolidate the Mount Kenya vote, and Muturi's backing may perhaps be seen as another move to nibble the few remaining pockets of his perceived political resistance in the mountain.
This particular general election is not going to be about leaders and positions and changing the constitution. It is going to be about the team that has the plan and has the template on how to change our economy, create jobs for ordinary people.
The Kenya Kwanza leadership is confident that the inclusion of Democratic Party in the alliance now makes the winning of 2022 general election a reality. They are now sending a warning to the National Cohesion Integration Commission that they will not be limited in how they conduct their campaigns. Meanwhile, Kenya Kwanza Alliance has settled on Johnson Sakaja as its gubernatorial candidate for Nairobi County. In the new agreement, Margaret Wanjiru has deferred her gubernatorial bid and will now run for the Senate seat. Gishuki Washira, Legends Edition.
Nairobi gubernatorial aspirant Tim Wanyonyi has dismissed reports doing rounds on social media that he is being considered for deputy governor position in the Nairobi gubernatorial race. Speaking at his campaign secretariat in Nairobi, Wanyonyi dismissed rumors that he had accepted to be a deputy to ex-Nairobi Deputy Governor Polycarp Igathe. The Westlands Member of Parliament affirmed his bid for Nairobi governor, saying he is busy looking for a suitable running mate and leaving no room for him to be considered for the same position.
Tim Wanyonyi will be on the ballot. That one you can take it to the bank. Very soon, as we continue discussing and also listening to the people of Nairobi, we are going to unveil the campaign, and that campaign will be constituted with a full team that now will form the Azimio team. And this team will have Tim Wanyonyi as the governor, and I shall have my deputy.
The National Council of Churches of Kenya has condemned the political intolerance and violence being witnessed in various parts of the country. NCCK chairperson Timothy Ndambuki says the scenario is uncalled for and those engaged in violence are undermining Kenya's democracy.
The heightened political activities in the country have seen the clergy call for peaceful campaigns and party primaries, citing the recent attack on Mvita MP seat aspirant. NCCK termed the act barbaric.
Hawa watu wanarudisha nchi yetu nyuma. Hatuwezi kukubali siasa za aina hiyo.
NCCK maintains that the church will be quick to condemn such vices.
Wakati wengine walitupia ndege ya Raila mawe, hiyo pia ni ishara mbaya ya kutakia mtu mauti, kwa sababu mawe na ndege, hata hiyo dhuluma na kudhulumu watu wengine haistahili.
And United Democratic Alliance supporters from Naivasha, Nakuru County have called on the party leader to intervene and quell what they term as wrangles in the outfit days to the party primaries. They cited the recent misunderstanding between Naivasha MP Jane Kihara and Senator Susan Kihika.
Kabla mtu hajaanza kuongea, wacha to consult. Hii vita ya kupigana ati kidogo, mama anapigana na mama. Hata sasa tutakuwa na unajua hapa Nakuru senator atakuwa inaonekana senator atakuwa mama, governor atakuwa mama, wabunge wengi watakuwa. Kwa nini wa mama mpigane na mnasema tuauke?
Sisi hatutaki hiyo vita. Kwa hivyo ndio tunamwambia angalia hizo vita aziondolee kwa haraka sana before nomination.
Meanwhile, outgoing Trans Nzoia Governor Patrick Haimba has dismissed claims that he is interested in a political seat in the August elections.
Wakati wa watu kupitia kwa political parties kujiandikisha kugombea kibiti umepita. Hamujasikia nimejiandikisha.
And ODM political leaders in Busia County have faulted ODM National Election Board for inadequate preparations for party primaries slated on Monday next week, saying aspirants have not been updated on the modalities of the process.
Ready for nomination so long as it's going to be in the people's court, in the people's verdict. Lakini hiyo mipango na nini bado hatujaelezwa.
Tumetarajia kwamba wakati kama huu tungekuwa tumejua matayarisho wamefikia wapi, tungekuwa tumepata habari na updates zozote.
Elsewhere, Safina Party presidential candidate Jimmy Wanjigi has said he is well qualified and has experience to revive the country's economy within a short period of time.
There are people who have called us lone rangers. Even Robin Hood was a lone ranger. But he got enough people, the people, to support his cause. I am here with the people of Kenya. That is my alliance.
He noted that the current economic situation can be attributed to runaway corruption, which has left many Kenyans suffering since they cannot afford food, among other basic commodities. Kamchemenza for the Legends edition.
Phase 1 of the construction of competency-based curriculum junior secondary school classrooms is almost complete, with the second phase expected to start next month. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says the government has released 3.2 billion shillings to pay contractors involved in the exercise. He spoke on Saturday while commissioning newly built CBC classrooms in select secondary schools in Elgeyo Marakwet and Uasin Gishu counties.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha began the day in Iten, Elgeyo Marakwet County, where he opened the newly constructed competency-based curriculum junior secondary school classrooms at Singore Girls High School. Professor Magoha revealing that the first phase of the exercise is at an advanced stage, urging private schools to come on board.
We have a large leftover from Nairobi where the private schools seem to be experts of having primary schools and making sure there are no secondary schools. So we are urging them, those who are able and willing and are not looking for so much profit, to regiment themselves. Actually, they only need to add one more classroom because they are primary schools in any case, and that classroom must comply.
The Cabinet Secretary assured all contractors involved in the project of full payment.
We have paid over 1,300 contractors, so no contractor should think that the government is not able to pay. As a matter of fact, the President released the money, 3.2 billion. The first batch was released about 4 months ago, and it has just been waiting for the workers to collect it.
At the same time, Professor Magoha encouraged parents to accept the outcome of the Form 1 placement exercise, which is already complete.
There is a disease where everybody wants to go to only 10 schools, whose capacity is only about 5,000. And it's very interesting, isn't it? Yet we have 1.2 million. My job is to ensure that the 1.2 million are placed. Secondly, the national schools are schools which are meant to have the national character.
He also toured St. Patrick Iten in Elgeyo Marakwet and later commissioned CBC classrooms at Kipsangui Girls High School in Soi and at ACK Kaptebe Secondary School in Tarbo, both in Uasin Gishu County. For Legends Edition, I'm Safin Aching Oma.
Thank you, Sarfin. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union is decrying what it terms as a low budgetary allocation to the health sector. In the 2022-2023 budget, National Treasury Secretary, Cabinet Secretary rather, Ambassador Ukuri Atani allocated 146.8 billion shillings to the health sector, the biggest share ever. But KMPDU says the amount translates to only 4.4% of the total budget, which they say is a raw deal. Purity Museo reports.
On April 27, 2001, African governments made a historic pledge to allocate at least 15% of their annual budgets to the health sector. This vow became known as Abuja Declaration. Kenya is among countries yet to implement the declaration, as evident during the 2022-2023 budget reading last Thursday.
I propose to allocate Kenya shilling 146.8 billion to the healthcare sector to support the various programs aimed at improving healthcare outcomes.
Although National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Ukuri Atani termed it the biggest allocation ever to the sector, this amount only represents 4.4% of the total budget and less than what was given last year.
The overall budget is low. And even if you look at the aspect to implement the UHC, when you say you want to implement UHC as 62 billion, and we know that UHC encompasses equipment, it encompasses governance, it encompasses the human resource aspect of it, which has not all been mentioned, then it is just a fallacy.
Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union further accuses county governments of disregarding the welfare of health workers in the country, citing failure to pay medics on time.
Out of the health budget, about 56% of it goes to the Ministry of Health, which then do not have employees, but then deals directly with training and policy. But despite that, the Ministry of Health has gone against its mandate that it has been having. It has been citing a budgetary deficiency in handling some of the important issues in training.
If the next pandemic gets us with a budget of 7 billion, while in the same budget you have allocated 87 billion shillings to stalled projects, white elephants, then there's a problem with this country. It's a lopsided allocation.
The doctors are threatening to mobilize nationwide demonstrations beginning May if the government fails to heed to their cry.
We are calling the Council of Governors to stand together with the unions to demand for the increase of funds to the counties, because we are going to see a situation whereby the doctors, the healthcare workers, the nurses are not being employed. So the public will actually not see any changes in the healthcare.
When the country reported the COVID-19 outbreak months into the pandemic, we witnessed industrial action from the healthcare workers, and their cry was they did not have enough support and equipment to stay at the front line. Now, today, issuing threats that they will start demonstrations if the budget allocation is not improved for the healthcare workers. Will the government hear their cry? Purity Museo, The Legends Edition, Nairobi.
And with Purity Museo's story on the healthcare situation, we now take a break. When we come back, of course, later this evening, we are hosting Elisha Kasuku, a professional golfer. Please don't go away.
Ili kupata Warumi 8 kama skiza tune kwenye simu yako, bonyeza *811 *815#.
Nina hakika kwamba hakuna kinachoweza kukutenga na upendo wa Mwenyezi Mungu. Si kifo, si malaika, si vitu tulivyokuwa navyo au tutakavyokuwa navyo, si mamlaka au chochote kitakachoumbwa. Warumi 8:38 hadi 39.
Kupata Warumi 8, bonyeza *811 *815#. *811 *815#.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
I'm very much comfortable the way I am. Very much comfortable the way I am.
For decades, the society has considered Darlan a mystique, whose sense of fashion and personality have remained a mystery to many.
I'm a woman, and again, I'm a man, and I can also have my menses just like women.
Join Sheila Kayaro Yogo this Saturday on 9th April and this Sunday on 10th April at 9 p.m. as she brings you the story, My Gender Paradox, exclusive to KBC Channel 1.
Well, you've just seen snippets of it, but for decades the society has considered Apostle Darlan Rukih a mystique whose sense of fashion and personality have remained a mystery to many. In our Part 1 feature series dubbed My Gender Paradox, Sheila Kayaro Yogo traveled to Ndewa in Homa Bay County to find answers to questions that have lingered in the minds of many about the artist.
It is a voice that has attracted the attention of many, not only from the Lake region, but the world at large. Apostle Darlan Rukih's sense of fashion and personality has remained a puzzle to many. Some refer to the music icon as he and some she. We paid a visit to Darlan Rukih's home in Miranga, Homa Bay County, to unravel the puzzle.
I was born an intersex. That made me to change my mind, to think and to know that I am not only a boy, but I'm also a girl. And I can also have my menses just like women. So that changed my mind.
In simple terms, an intersex person is an individual born with a combination of both male and female biological traits. Dr. Ken Muma gives us a medical perspective.
When we are all in the uterus, at some point in time, our organs are somewhere in between, okay? And then once the genes start kicking in, is how it commits to one side or the other. In ovotesticular DSD, you basically have some variation of both organs.
My mother explained to me everything, how she gave birth to me, and why she decided to identify me as a male, and why she was trying to hide it to other people, so that people may not know that I was born an intersex. She told me that she was just afraid of me being killed because children like that during that time were supposed to be killed.
I decided my child to be a boy because he passed urine through the male organ.
The mother tried all means to make Darlan look like a boy, a decision whose consequences Darlan has lived with.
What I wanted from the doctors was only to get me the medicine to stop my menses, and to get medicines which can make me look like a man, not a woman.
Puberty came with a fair share of challenges.
I was lacking a group to join. When I go to girls, I'm chased to go to boys. When I go to boys, go to girls.
Discrimination from his own family added more salt to injury.
Even though my elder brothers from my stepmothers were very much harsh to me and treated me very harsh. They wanted me just to be alone. Some people would want even to undress you the way I used to be treated when I was still young. People wanted to know all the times when I go to school. People want to see, are you a man? Are you a boy? Yes, I am a boy. No, we want to confirm. They remove my clothes. After seeing, some people raped me. I was raped with men when I was still young. I am near, I will give thee.
When enough was enough for the founder of the Bride of the Lamb Ministries,
that the world cannot give,
the apostle decided to publicly identify as an intersex.
I was the first person, I think, here in Kenya.
A declaration that prompted many intersex persons ostracized by the community to seek solace and shelter at the St. Darlan Rukih's mission. The apostle finds comfort in prayer.
You may fight all my battles.
Solace in singing. And more joy in dancing. Darlan uses the pulpit to spread the gospel.
Glory be to the King of Glory!
And create awareness about the intersex condition.
God is a God of love, and He has brought us together to serve one another in love.
With a sense of fashion that has aroused curiosity among the public, Darlan gives a shot.
That's why I am dressing up like this, to create awareness so that people may know.
Darlan is a fashion designer who tailors and designs his on-stage costumes that depicts the intersex gender. Typically
a trouser, kawaida. Then this is the skirt.
Meaning part of your costume is
shows
to show the intersex.
Yes.
He embraces diverse cultures through his music. He takes advantage of his hormonal changes to bring creativity to his music. Sometimes high pitch. And sometimes low pitch. Darlan is married to Prescan Fau. The couple has been together for 26 years and they have a 21-year-old biological son.
I'm a father to Habit and Rasha. So if somebody has called me father, it's good.
In a rare case of intersex procreation, Darlan confesses to be a biological mother.
This is why to me, I'm seeing it very nice to be a mother. I am a mother to marvel.
Probably for this gentleman or woman, that the the female organs were the ones which were predominantly more functional than the male organs. For example, that's why you describe the presence of menstruation. You describe the presence of the ability to be impregnated.
Research shows that there are 46 variations of intersex condition. According to Dr. Muma, intersex persons can choose their preferred gender.
You may have to do surgery for one reason or another, but we are usually very cautious and offer that as a last resort. And we usually like to make that decision in consultation, not only with the parents, but with the person with that condition.
Nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura sponsored a bill in Parliament in 2019 to safeguard the rights and freedoms of the intersex persons.
My bill now in the Senate, Registration of Persons Bill, Amendment Bill, seeks now to recognize that there is a third sex marker, which is intersex, and also to have people that have that marker in the ID. And it's in the second reading of the Senate. We pray and believe that before we do Synod, possibly in May, we shall have already conversed about it. I'll be pushing for it and see where we are in the order paper so that it can advance.
What about the clustering of lesbians, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer and intersex individuals under a single umbrella body of LGBTQI?
This is very, very important, Sheila Yogo. There has been all this association with the LGBTQ community, which is not what we are advocating for ourselves, because we are not talking about sexual orientation. We are talking about the sex, the way you are born, whether you're male, female, or intersex.
To those who discriminate intersex persons, the apostle has a message. According to the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, intersex minors are not spared either.
The parents are really struggling with identifying who they are. They will keep away from hospitals. So at the point when these children are born, we have kids who are likely to miss out on vaccination.
A spot check by KBC revealed low levels of awareness about intersex condition have contributed to discrimination against the individuals.
Si tuko over 33 million.
Yes.
Mbona Mungu anachagua wewe tu akuweke intersex?
Sasa hiyo ndio inafaa tuwaelimishe kwa sababu watu hawajaelimishwa kuhusu watu wanaitwa intersex. Hawajapewa education.
Unaweza jiridhisha ukiwa wana.
Hawezi serve two masters.
Mimi siwaelewi, hata tukisikia tunasikia tu kama ni movie.
According to the 2019 National Population and Housing Census, 1,524 intersex persons were recorded in the country, while the Kenya National Human Rights Commission estimates the number of intersex persons to be 1.4 million.
The huge gap is because people cannot come. Can you imagine, even when we have the Intersex Day, people still find it hard to share their stories. And the level of self-confidence is very low amongst intersex people.
For any violations of their rights and legal help, intersex persons can contact the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. For psychosocial support, intersex persons can access Intersex Persons Society of Kenya and Jinsi Yangu organization. At the Kijabe Mission Hospital that has support groups for the intersex, and the Darlan Rukih Mission through mobile number 0714 444 660 that offers a home for intersex persons ostracized by the community.
Darlan Rukih is an intersex person who is an accomplished apostle, musician, philanthropist, a mentor who has fathered and mothered many, not only in Kenya, but the world at large. He is also married. These are achievements that hardly attained by many due to discrimination. Sheila Yogo reporting for KBC, Ndhiwa, Homa Bay County.
Thank you, Sheila, for that outstanding feature. More than 17.7 million COVID-19 vaccines have been administered across the country. The Ministry of Health says over 16 million are doses administered to the adult population and over 18 years, above 18 years rather. Meanwhile, 10 people have tested positive for the disease from a sample size of 3,827 tested in the last 24 hours. No death was reported. The positivity rate is now at 0.3%. Globally, statistics from the Johns Hopkins University show more than 497.6 million people have been infected and over 6.1 million have died. Well, we now take a short break. When we come back, of course, it is sports as usual with Topi Liambila. Don't go away. Please stay with us.
Starting this Sunday, the Dada's show is back. A show where women get to be themselves and discuss real issues.
I told them, yes, I made a mistake. I tried to persevere for you guys, but at the same time, we have to move out.
How do you deal with cases whereby the victim decides to forgive the perpetrators, when somebody talks to you or you see something like that you also encourage them to report, you encourage them to talk about it.
This being an election year, we have given an opportunity to women to express themselves and share their opinions during this crucial time in our country's history.
Particularly for the women, my prayer is that we shall get more women governors, senators and members of parliament elected to parliament.
Ule atachaguliwa kama ni mwanamke, hopefully mimi ningependa kuwe mwanamke, kama ni mwanaume ama mwanamke, angalia zile issues zenye zina affect wasichana, especially huku chini mashinani.
Starting this Sunday, be sure to tune in.
Wiki hii kwenye mkulima tutajifunza kutengeza mzinga wa nyuki wa kisasa. Kisha tuangazie kuongeza dhamana asali.
Hii ndio inaitwa Langstroth beehive. Hii Langstroth ndio tulianza nayo. Na wakati huo ilikuwa shida kupata hii, hata kutengeneza.
Basi ungana nami Frederick Mbadha Jumapili saa 9:30 nikupe uondo kamili.
Always a good evening and welcome once again to the sports segment of the Legends edition this Saturday evening. I'm Topi Liambila with the details, and the top lineup this evening. We have got the Kenya Cup, rugby, Prisons wrap up their athletics, and boxing Zone 3 in the DRC Congo. Stay with us. With the Kenya Cup champions, Kabras humbled arch rivals KCB 9-6 to win the Enterprise Cup at the RFUEA grounds. Both sides missed their star players who have traveled with the Simbas for the Courier Cup in South Africa. The Bangas were aiming to finish the season with the silverware after losing out in the Kenya Cup semis to Menengai Oilers. Kabras thrashed Homeboys 37-11 in the semis, while KCB edged Impala 2018. Some of the action. Reigning world champion, marathon champion Ruth Chepngetich produced a masterclass performance to win the women's 10,000-meter final as the curtain came down on the Kenya Prisons Track and Field Championships at Kasarani Stadium today. Meanwhile, Hesbon Ocheng emerged victorious in the men's 100-meter final.
Ruth Chepngetich dominated the race from the onset. The world champion took charge of the leading pack that included Alice Aprot and Lilian Chepkoril. Chepngetich crossed the line in 31 minutes and 55 seconds, while Alice Aprot finished second. Lilian Chepkoril settled for the third position after clocking 32 minutes.
I saw my friend abroad. First I saw brilliant. I think she was tired, and she called me to go forward, and I responded and follow abroad. And when we are in maybe I can say 200 meters or 300 meters, I was seeing her. The pace was slow, and I just have a confidence, and I have a lap, and I just kick and won, so I thank God.
Race nilikuwa naogopa kiasi, kwa maana tulikuwa na world champion ya marathon. Nilikuwa najua kwamba hata pia si rahisi, lakini tumeweza kusaidiana hadi nambari yenye nimechukua la pili.
In the men's 400 meters race, Moses Kimutai emerged victorious ahead of Vincent Kosgei and Dennis Kimeu, who finished the second and third respectively, while Hesbon Ochieng emerged victorious in the men's 100 meters final.
I think it was in the second K meeting, we ran together with Omanyala at Nyayo Stadium. So it's good to run with such people because they have a good time. So when you are with them, even in a heat, you'll perfect your time because you will be chasing him. Even if he's ahead, you will be chasing to close the gap.
The competition was used to select a team that will represent Kenya Prisons at the National Championship. For Legends Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Well, looks like it was an easy day for world champion Chepngetich. Now, Kenyan pugilist David Karanja bagged gold for the hit squad in the flyweight category at the Africa Zone 3 Boxing Championships in Democratic Republic of Congo. Karanja trons DRC's Bakora Kalongo 3-2 to win the category. Teresia Wanjiru also bagged gold for Kenya after humbling Raisa Jofa of DRC in the light welterweight final. Victor Odhiambo lost on points to Louis Collin of Mauritius in the light welterweight category to settle for a silver medal. Another Kenyan, Elizabeth Akinyi, also settled for silver after losing to Mave Kiangebeni of DRC in the midweight category final. Here's some of the action.
Nimekasana kabisa pia kwa mazoezi ndio niweza kufika hapa mahali nimefika. Game imekuwa poa, sikuwa na ile uchovu, mwili ulikuwa relax kabisa. So nashukuru God pia na pia makochi na pia nyinyi wananchi kwa ile morali mmekuwa mkitupatia, kutushikilia pia kwa maombi.
Nimeshinda gold despite nilikuwa na injury, nijani affect janiletea ngori. Narudishia pia mafans wangu wote shukran, mamangu na babangu na wakidance BFK pia narudishia shukrani na mafans wote Kenya. Ushindi ni yetu.
Kenya Police FC was held to a 1-1 draw by Talanta FC in a closely contested Kenyan Premier League match played at the Kasavuli Stadium. The team with a 3-point difference came into the match focused on bagging maximum points to enhance their chances of finishing among the top teams in the league. Police FC scored the opening goal in the 69th minute, while Talanta FC had to wait until the 88th minute to equalize. Following the draw, Talanta FC now occupy position 9 with 33 points, while Police FC is placed 11th with 29 points. In another match, Gibitco United and Posta Rangers played to a 1-1 draw. Kakamega Homeboys is still perched at the top of the log ahead of Tusker FC, Nairobi City Stars, Gor Mahia and Posta Rangers, who are all competing for the top 5 positions on the league table. After a stellar performance at the last weekend's ARC Equator Rally Kenya, speedster Karan Patel now has his eyes fixed on the forthcoming Pearl of Africa Uganda Rally slated for May 6th to the 8th. The Ugandan round will count towards the third round of the 2022 FIA African Rally Championships ARC after February's ARC Rally Bandama and Kenya's Equator Rally.
Presenting to you the champion of this year's event, Karan Patel.
Karan Patel will be aiming for a rare double on the continental scene and the Kenya National Rally Championship KNRC, which he currently leads after the first 3 rounds held in Ilbil, Silmogotio and Naivasha. Karan Patel was very fast on Naivasha terrain, where he won 4 out of 8 stages in an event which also served as a dry run for June's WRC Safari Rally. Karan Patel missed out on the opening round in Ivory Coast, where current leader Leroy Gomez scored maximum points. The Kenyan is now 24 points behind Zambian Gomez, who admitted Karan is in a class of his own. Last year, Karan Patel competed in 3 ARC events in Kenya, Rwanda and Tanzania. He finished 4th in the 2021 Africa Championship with 48 points after twice settling for the first runners-up position on both the ARC Oryx Energies Rally of Tanzania and ARC Rwanda Mountain Gorilla Rally. Karan will renew his rivalry with the Zambian speedster on the Pearl event, alongside the big number of drivers who will be drawn from the host country. It will be Karan Patel's debut appearance in the event.
Well, finally, Kenya soccer fans' favourite landing, Everton secured what could prove a priceless victory in their battle to avoid relegation as lackluster Manchester United were beaten at the Goodson Park. In a game low on quality but high in tension, Everton's victory came courtesy of Anthony Gordon's 27th minute drive, which took a heavy deflection off United captain Harry Maguire to leave goalkeeper David De Gea wrong-footed. Some of the highlights. And that's a wrap on what our sports desk team of Karanja, David and Dan Mwendwa had for us this Saturday evening. We take a short break. When we come back, of course, we wind up.
The legendary run to Olympia Stadion in Berlin is now less crowded, with only 4 teams out of 64 still in contention. Something more outstanding is that all of the sides to have won the DFB Pokal over the last 29 years are already out this year.
And Leverkusen are knocked out by a Bundesliga 2 side.
In the first DFB Pokal semi-final, Hamburger SV will face Freiburg on Tuesday, the 19th of April 2022 at 9:45 p.m. While in the second semi-final, RB Leipzig will lock horns with Union Berlin on Wednesday, the 20th April 2022 at 9:45 p.m. Having braced the turbulent journey and buoyed up with the trophy in sight, no team want to go down without a fight. You don't want to miss this adventurous football show, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
That I'm the son of Leonardo Del Rio.
And just like you, he never knew why your mother had to get married to a man who she didn't love. You have every right to go in and report me.
In that case, the two of them have to die. Didn't think twice about strangling my own brother. I wouldn't have second thoughts about locking up the man that my wife cheated on me with.
You did what?
Consider this a warning.
Lying heart.
On the Living Legends tonight, we hear the story of a man who got into sport as a golf caddy, became a champion race walker while working as a communications engineer and as a professional golfer, played at the seniors event of the British Open. Our living legend tonight is none other than Elisha Kasuku. Enjoy.
Good day, my name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to the Living Legends. In today's edition, we speak to a man who has represented the country at the Commonwealth Games. He has been at the Olympic Games and also played professional golf. We speak to one sporting legend of the country, Mr. Elisha Kasuku, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wahome. You're welcome at Royal Nairobi Golf Club, which was built in 1906, if I'm not wrong, yeah.
And like for everybody else, when we get to speak about this program, we ask that you tell us your story about where you were born, where you grew up, and your early education.
Yeah, Mr. Wahome, I was born in Nakuru way back 72 years ago. And I went to DB Baharini in my primary education and then Menengai High School. Thereafter, I got a job with Cable and Wireless, and I was sent to Kenya Polytechnic to do telecommunication at the Poly. Thereafter, I was employed at the radio station, receiving station at Ngong, where the Democratic corner is. And then after that, I went to Longonot Earth Station in Rift Valley, near Suswa. So basically, that's my education background. And later on, I was sponsored by the Italian government, the IRI, to do marine satellite engineering in Italy. So I stayed in Italy for 5 years.
Let's now come to what you're better known for as a sportsman. How did you get into athletics, which is what you got into first, and specifically race walking?
I wasn't an athlete at all, because during the games time in the primary school, I used to escape from school not to do the games, because we had to do kidding in the evening. And then we had to run from Nakuru Baharini to golf club in order to do kidding, in order to survive. But I didn't know that I was building up endurance in my system by running 4 kilometers up, go and do 18 holes, which is 3 to 4 kilometers again, and then run 4 kilometers down. But basically I was covering about something like 12 to 15 kilometers a day. Without knowing that I was building in endurance, I was going to become a long-distance runner or race walker. It happened at Menengai. They used to have the grading. For every class, you have to try and run 800 meters, 1,500 meters, and then you're given grading. And then I did 800 meters under 2 minutes. Then the teachers realized that, this man can be a good athlete. Now, for me, I was a good road runner and finished 2nd to 4th in the Rift Valley Secondary School Championship. But
that was in which distance?
I couldn't get the number 1, because in Rift Valley at that time, with Blevins, John Blevins, who was our education director in Rift Valley, anybody who wins the National Secondary School Championship, you are given free bursary for the whole year. But since Mr. Wahome, I was looking for the school fees, I had to see if I can get number 1 in Kenya in athletics so that I can be given bursary. But taking into account that was Rift Valley. And let me tell you, at the 1974 Commonwealth Games in Christchurch, we were 15 former National Secondary School Championship team from Rift Valley. So I could not win the National Secondary School Championship. So the teachers who were there by that time, because we had the Coptic teachers from Europe and from England, they said, no, let me tell you, Elisha, the best thing you can do, change your sports to race walking, then you'll win in the national championship, and then you represent national championship, and then we give you the bursary for the whole year. Then I started race walking, I couldn't win the inter-house race walking at Menengai, but suddenly I went and won the Nakuru District Championship.
Well, the 1976 Olympics you were in the team, and it just turned out to be one that, Kenya eventually boycotted, going by the name of the non-aligned movement and Soweto, all that was around it. When you got to Montreal, then got the information that, hey, listen, back to Nairobi. What was that story, and how did it change your outlook of the world, politics and sports?
It was painful. It was unfair for people like Henry Rono, who actually was the world best by that time. And I knew I was going because the pre-Olympic, 2-3 days before the start, I clocked very good time, 40 minutes, 0.05 in 10 kilometers. Then that was my chance to get the medal. And it was a rest day. The next day, after the opening ceremony, I was on the touchline. So I didn't even go for the opening ceremony because we didn't go for opening ceremony. We just stood to see people now wearing their suits, going for opening ceremony. Because the Olympic Village was attached to the stadium. So we could see them going, and it was very unfortunate for the boxers who actually weighed in the morning to fight in the evening. And then you're being called to go back. Economically, it was not really, we didn't really see the need for us to go up. Because we had practiced for 4 years for this thing. And then we should have boycotted buying things from New Zealand and all those things. But later on is when people realized that it was a big mistake for the boycott. And then 1980, it comes to about Russia going into Afghanistan. Now it was like that. 1994, Russia did not go to Los Angeles and the rest of things. See, if you mix sports with politics with sports, there will be no sports in this world.
Well, the other sport, and just everyone can see from the background, is golf. You mentioned at the start of the interview that you used to be a caddy. When in primary school, you would rush to, go carry the bags. How did you get, eventually into playing, so that when you moved from race walking, you got into professional golf?
Take it like this. Before it was golf, and then I came to race walking.
Then race walking.
You see, I didn't know that I was going to build up endurance walking on the golf course at Menengai Hill. But we started it down when I was 10 years at Menengai Social Center in Nakuru. The director of social services, the Mzungu at that time, they did the correct thing by introducing the game of golf to the young kids. So when you have such thing, then we started becoming academy with my elder brother, Musa Dada. I was 10, Musa was 12. I could not carry a golf bag, Musa could carry. And then we were using that thing to pay for our school fees. We were using the caddy's fee to come and pay for our school fees. So when I came into race walking, because of the bursary. But initially, my interest was in golf. Of course, when I was 14, I could play single handicap, maybe back to handicap. A long time ago in early 60s. So my late father said, one day, one of you will play in the world where everybody is going to be there, one day.
So tell us the process that you had to go through to eventually play at the seniors event at the British Open, which is one of the 4 majors in the world.
It was a tall order. It was a tall order. I had to travel to Zimbabwe, stayed in Zimbabwe for some time in order to get the quality field. I went to the Shanshan Tour to try and compete. And the qualifying was only 18 holes. Only 18 holes.
One round.
One round. Either you do it you go back home. And you are quite a number of people, over 400 people, and they are taking quite a few number, about 25 out of 400. So you are divided in every course you're playing in. So I would say that when I had a chat, we are sitting with Greg Norman and Tom Watson. And then Greg Norman told me I'm the luckiest person he has never seen in this world. You're carrying your bag from Kenya, and you're coming to Aberdeen, which is higher than Moscow, to come and qualify 18 holes. And you come in, and Eccleton, Scotch Horse are being sent home. They didn't qualify, and the Scotch Horse finished second in the Masters. I said, well, I worked hard for it, but he told me, yes, you can. You're a good ball striker, but here is not strong. You have got to play in the tour in order to be strong, but otherwise, whatever you have done, and you playing in the Open, and the Kenyan flag is here. Everybody's asking which beautiful flag is that one, and then they're saying there's a black man here from Kenya, and there was only one black person.
Way before Tiger.
And no, Tiger already was there, but they are saying that whatever you have done in coming to play in the British Open, now people are realizing that there's golf in Kenya, and the Kenyans can play golf. For them to reach here, then they can play golf. And then I told Gary Player that, you see, Gary is funny because Greg Stadler is the one who asked that if we saw a Kenyan name and we thought we are going to run marathon. And then I told them, incidentally, I've been in the Olympics. Then Gary Player said, it seems everybody in Kenya, they run. Because now you're a golfer, and now you're playing with us. And then Gary Player said something. Greg, you know, this man is better off than us. He has been in the Olympics as an athlete, and is with us here playing in the major. Nobody has done it. I don't know, Naomi, you can do your research. Nobody has done it.
And you helped set up the Junior Golf Foundation. What has been what are the fruits that the JGF has borne, and what is the way forward for golf in Kenya?
Well, when I went to Zimbabwe Open, I went to play Zimbabwe Open in Chapman. I found Nick Price with the juniors. They was being sponsored by Spalding. Then I went to Nick Price and had a chat with Nick Price. How can I get some class for our juniors in Kenya? Then he asked me, do you have Junior Golf Foundation with you in Kenya? I said, no, we don't have. He so told me, Elisha, that's the first thing. That's the first thing you have got to do. You must have Junior Golf Foundation in Kenya. Now, we came, I talked to Samwai. Samwai started the Junior Golf Foundation. And now they used to send me to Nakuru, Kericho, Thika. That's where I got Richard Enley and the group. And it was good. We had Limp Jr., Jacob Okello, Fred Kamau. Those were the juniors. And at the moment now, they are all professionals.
Mr. Elisha Kasuku, thank you very much for being with us on The Living Legends. We have been in conversation with Mr. Elisha Kasuku. He is one of the founders of the Professional Golfers Association of Kenya. He started the Junior Golf Foundation. He's played at the British Open, one of the 4 golf majors, and he has also been to 3 Commonwealth Games and an Olympic Games representing Kenya in race walking. He has performed at the highest level of sport in 2 sporting disciplines. It doesn't come easy. You won't find them in the world coming that quick. And that has been our episode today. Remember, stay tuned to KBC Channel 1 for more great programming. I am Daniel Wahome.
Well, it is always my pleasure to host you on this show. Of course, Dopey Liambila has been with me the entire evening, and I know that he has something he has to update us on.
Yeah, you got it right, Catherine, and all Kenyans. I think there's reason to smile and make merry this evening. Three Kenyan boxers have won gold this evening, and one is on the way right in the field to be able to battle it out, and there's two silver. The three Kenyans, of course, are Evelyn Akinyi, Elizabeth Sandiego, and Shafi Bakari. Those ones took gold already. Njau is next in the ring, and there's a possibility he'll also pick a gold. And then the silver stars this evening was Stacy Ayoma and Lona Kusa. So what a great evening for Kenya.
And
in the
where is
DRC
this
Congo.
taken? Yeah,
in the DRC Congo for the Zone 3 Africa Boxing Championships.
Wonderful.
It's great.
When did they start?
It started this week, early this week.
Okay.
It's kind of going on the penultimate day.
Wonderful.
And yes, the way it is, I think if there's an overall cup, then Kenya is going to have it.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
we've been doing quite dismally in boxing, but we are picking up now.
Oh, yeah.
New talent, fresh blood, and it is very encouraging.
Kenya is a blessed country.
It is.
Look at people like living legends like Elisha Kasuku.
Yes, amazing fellow. From very humble beginnings to pros.
Also another great player, also John Mucheru.
Yes.
John Mucheru they also started as a caddy. He was a caddy actually for the European settlers.
Wow.
And carrying around the golf sticks, and boom, he got into the game.
And he became a serious professional.
It's great.
Amazing.
I think it's good that they spread it out a bit to the schools. It was really great, the golf.
That is very, very true. Yeah, I was just thinking about, talking about living legends, and such professionals. I was just talking about Noah Wekesa's children. They were great tennis players.
Yeah, Paul, Camille, and Luisa.
Yes, I used to read about them on the news.
I think we should,
I think we should interview them, yes.
Great players.
I know everybody, wondering where they are at this time.
I think we're going to look for them. Now is a living legend, so this is the time again to reincarnate.
Yes, that is very true.
Get to show that we are still there.
Yes.
It's going strong.
Oh, great. And congratulations to our brothers and sisters in DR Congo. You're doing very well. We love you, and all the best. And all the best from the team here at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation Legends Edition. My name is Catherine Kasavuli. Our sign language interpreter has been Lucy Maora. And of course, yours truly,
Topi Liambila, and signing off and saying, you guys, God willing, we shall be with you again next weekend. But this weekend, again, there's a lot of sporting activity. So stay tuned. Enjoy KBC Channel 1 for the best and most comprehensive sports reports.
Have a good night.
That I'm the son of Leonardo Del Rio.
And just like you, he never knew why your mother had to get married to a man who she didn't love. You have every right to go in and report me.
In that case, the two of them have to die. Didn't think twice about strangling my own brother. I wouldn't have second thoughts about locking up the man that my wife cheated on me with.
You did what?
Consider this a warning.
Lying heart.
Starting this Sunday, the Dada's show is back. A show where women get to be themselves and discuss real issues.
I told them, yes, I made a mistake. I tried to persevere for you guys, but at the same time, we have to move out.
How do you deal with cases whereby the victim decides to forgive the perpetrators?
When somebody talks to you or you see something like that you also encourage them to report, you encourage them to talk about it.
This being an election year, we have